What's going on, growers? It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. Bees are destroying my garden. Today, me and Tucker are going to show you how the garden's growing and share with you how bees are causing more harm than good in the food forest. Let's go! It's interesting to think that bees, one of the most important beneficial insects in the garden, can actually be causing some harm also. Me and Tucker are going to get into that. Before we do, we got to grab this guy a snack and just show you how a few of the things are growing. He's sniffing up at all the peppers, looking for all different kinds of snacks. Look at the size of these bell peppers on here. Look at that production. Crazy. I'll grab some fresh peppers for him. We want to show you also, look at the white scallop squash down here, doing really nice. And check out even the ground cherries. Some of these are starting to get ready. Ground cherry is such a cool plant, such a unique one. And usually they fall to the ground when they're ready, but these ones, like, they're just about ready. Maybe a tiny bit early, but we'll try it anyways. This is the Aunt Molly's ground cherry. Such an incredible level of sweetness at the front end. Not bitter at all. Kind of like oily at the end, just incredible flavor. A bunch of the fall crops are coming up too. Like, check out the peas over here. Looking really nice, and come swing this way too. We've got a bunch of fall crops planted in this bed. Doing really nice. So we still have so many summer things doing fantastic, but we also have the next round of all the fall crops. Lettuces, sorrel, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, carrots. Gotta have carrots for the little guy, everything. Check out some of these peppers in here. And look how beautiful this pepper is. We should grab one of these for Tuck. This guy likes peppers. Look at the color on that. Isn't that crazy? Look how bright and shocking it is. Let me just turn it around. Let's see if he wants a bite. This is a good sweet pepper. This guy loves his sweet peppers. Spam some hearts down low if you love seeing the little homie in the videos. This guy loves being out here. He's a hard worker. That's why he needs to get paid in some fresh, delicious peppers. Really good stuff. It's a sweet pepper too. Keep coming this way. Check out all this stuff. Some of these carrots in here are going to be massive. This is the Manpukaji carrot. This one gets huge. So I'll grab some of those soon. But check out the tomatoes back here. Look how well they're still growing and the high level of production we're still getting. Look at those sun golds. Look at the color. Another beautiful orange. Super sweet 100s. Lemon boys. The Defiant PHR back there. Really good late season tomato, and the cherry bombs. So we're at the time of year where the disease resistant tomatoes are really the ones that are taking over at this time, because some of the other tomatoes have had some blight issues, so we kind of had to remove them. But that's why you always want to get a bunch of different varieties and some good hybrids in that are very resistant to blight, because those will take you late into the season with some good production. Check out behind me over here. The seedless Concords. Look at the sets, the clusters. So beautiful. I'm going to take you over to some other grapes a little later too. Let me just try one of these though. These look like they're going to be so incredibly sweet. Nothing like fresh grapes. So good, and they have such a strong smell. It's like you could taste them before you even start eating them. It's incredible. Let's swing back over this way. He's still snacking on his pepper. What a good guy. And let's try one of these carrots right here. And right next to the carrots, look at this. Dragon tongue beans. Look how many are on here. Look at the striking color. Tuck, want a bean? What do you think, boy? I think he's liking that pepper too much. And maybe we'll just try a bean just real quick. Let's just see how this tastes. That's not too bad. Got a nice crunch to it. This guy's having a blast out here. So funny. Check out some of the tomatoes we're growing up. Steaks too. Look at the production on them. The cherry bomb. Look at that. Insane trusses of tomatoes. The Lemon Boy Plus. Nice production right behind it. And just so many tomatoes. The whole garden is doing really well, especially for this time of the year. And we attribute that to a number of different things, including staying on top of picking, even though we missed one here. The more you pick, the more you get when it comes to zucchini. And staying on top of watering, always staggering our plantings, and also using a good fertilizer. We're using our own JP Secret Stuff fertilizer that makes a difference. And check out all the beans in here, the dragon tongues. So Still getting so many different kinds of harvests. And check out the pears behind me. I think I left a few too many pears on this thing, but I'm sure we're still gonna get a decent harvest from it. Swing over this way. If you look down here, we're gonna have so many buttercup squash, it's incredible. We're talking like 20. And I hope I like the flavor of them because we're gonna have enough, that's for sure. First time I've ever grown this. This is the edamame. Look how many are on here. The level of production is nothing but inspiring. I mean, it's crazy. Take a peek back here. We've got the red swan beans too. Really nice. And then there's more tomatoes behind you, but I think we've showed enough tomatoes for now. Come over here, look at, I wasn't kidding about how many of the buttercup squash there are. It's crazy. And check out the sunflower. You won't believe how many eastern goldfinches and everything are just hanging out on the sunflowers, having the time of their lives. Then we have even more beans in here, dragon tongues. The dragon tongues are coming through thick and heavy, but that's great because this is one of our all-time favorite beans. Absolutely unstoppable. So good. Amazing. Right here is a picture of the destruction that the bees are causing. I mean, there's just bees drunk on this incredibly high sugar content of the grapes right here. And these were perfect clusters of grapes. But throughout the last day or two, the bees have just gone insane going after all these grapes, preoccupied. They're not even paying attention to me, but they're just going in there, cutting open the grapes and just sucking all the sweet juice out of it, getting the nectar, which is kind of unfortunate because, you know, we've allowed the grapes to go through, have their whole life cycle, and we were hoping to get a nice harvest from here, but the bees have literally just taken the grapes over. Look how much pollen is on the back of that grape, on that bee too. So even though it's a bit unfortunate we're gonna lose these grapes, when it comes down to it, me and Tuck aren't too bothered because we think it's gonna be an overall good investment. We wanna keep these bees super happy and healthy so that they can have a lot of offspring, and then next year, these pollinators and these insectivores could come in and support our garden. They can go through, pollinate everything to make sure we get bigger harvests, and then we could help out some of the insectivores too, like the wasps and all the hornets and stuff, and keep them nice and strong so they can work in the garden for us next year too. Plus, I showed you earlier how we have a bunch of different varieties of grapes that are ready. We're just going to make sure that next year we cover this section with some insect netting or something, because right when the grapes get super sweet, especially this variety for some reason, the bees really like to come in. Look, there's about four bees just in that one little spot. So you wouldn't think a beneficial insect like this would end up causing some destruction, but that's just the way it goes, I guess, with the grapes sometimes. Overall though, we're just happy to be feeding the bees because, you know, bees are often overlooked for their importance and they're not taken care of well enough. And there's not like a spray or anything we can spray on these because we really do not want to hurt any of the bees. We know they're good workers for us in the garden, so yeah, we'll feed them a little bit so that in the bigger scheme of things, we'll get even bigger harvests in the future, and we'll be supporting a bigger, healthier ecosystem throughout the whole entire food forest. Plus, we've got so many other grapes. Let's check out some of the grapes on the arbor too, which the bees haven't got to, and they'll be ready and ripe pretty soon. Underneath the grape trellis right now, look how many grapes are in here. Check this out. I just walk and I'm just like bumping into grapes. They're sagging down a little bit, the trellis, because it's getting so heavy, but that's what we love to see. One thing that I can convey to you is the smell. It's so sweet, it's so captivating, it's amazing. Check out the Catalba grapes over here, starting to ripen nicely too. The ones that I just walked by, those are the Niagara grapes. So these are starting to get some nice color to them. We'll taste one of them. I love the Catalba grapes, have a fantastic flavor to them. Really good, although they are seeded. Probably not as good as the seedless Concords that I had, because those were riper and they just taste so good. I love the Concord. Check out the Chijuro pear, the best flavored pear. This is when the pears are the best too, when they fall to the ground like this and get this incredible deep orange color. The butterscotch pear, I always show it because, I mean, it's worth it. It's so dang good. That's what we wait for, that sweet, sweet butterscotch flavor. And the 20th century pear, these ones are ready too. Just, they fall off so easily. Small, but absolutely jam-packed with sweet, delicious flavor. Nothing like getting some fresh fruit right from the trees. Let's head this way. We'll show you a few other things as we pass by some more beautiful peppers here. Come this way because let's grab an apple. Check out the Honeycrisp, my all-time favorite flavored apple. You might go to the stores and grab some Honeycrisps and love the way they taste, but you haven't had a real Honeycrisp until you've grown one organically in the backyard. Let's just twist this off. They're good when they taste, when they're just a color, just like this. And let's just get a nice taste of it. Let me just wipe it off a little bit. If you guys want to grab some of the merch at jamesprigioni.com, grab a Gardening is Life shirt. This is probably my favorite design that I've ever come up with. We've got the flower of life right on here, based on the Fibonacci sequence. So that golden ratio, that Fibonacci sequence is like how all life is built upon those same ratios, and that's how we build, that's how we have the shirt, and that's how we built our garden upon that, using those same ratios. Decent shine to it. Now let's just get a taste. Classic Honeycrisp texture. A nice level of sweetness, a hint of tartness, which I kind of like with the Honeycrisp, and I mean, tough to just say in words. Tuck thinks it's Tuck approved. Luckily he doesn't like apples, so I can have all of them, but he's still a good guy. And there's zucchini rampicante right below us there too. Check out how funny this is. I talk about the Mexican gherkins, the cucamelons. They grow so vigorously. This thing grew up a massive sunflower, and now it's just hanging down, and we could just grab them just like this, right off the vines. Good flavor too. Check out the Liberty. This one's going to be our late producer for apples. Look at the sheer number of fruit on there. Absolutely stacked. I probably could have took a few more off, but still getting some decent sized apples with really nice color. Just wait till I shine these ones up. They're going to look beautiful. And then check out the Mountain Magic. This thing's got maybe one or two bad ones, but look how the sets on these, man. This is such a great producer, and you can see it's got really good resistance to late blight because it's got almost little to no issues on this tomato. Hassle-free, delicious, and an overall winner. We just harvested a bunch of the potatoes from this bed, so we're gonna get ready to plant that heading for fall and winter. But let's just go back here for a few more things before I let you guys go. Still getting some of the black strawberry tomatoes. Striking color, beautiful. Actually doing relatively well this late in the season. And then more sunflowers, as you can see. Gardener's Sweetheart tomato. Here's an apple tree that we just put in like 3 or so years ago. It's still holding an apple. This thing looks like it's gonna have a good future when you could hold apples that young. And it's helping to spread the branch angles too, which is important. Come on this way. We've got a bunch of different kinds of squash hidden here. We've got butternut squash and more of the bonbon buttercup. I'm only going to plant one of those, if any, next year because I just have way too many of them. And then if you come down over here, more squash taken over. Still have some zucchinis in here. Well, that one might have gotten a little too big, but that's okay. And then along the fence over here, we have cucumbers growing. We're looking for that late cucumber harvest because I think we still have enough time. And then right behind those cucumbers, if you can see, in there, there's peas coming up as well. So we kind of double sowed this one. You can see it better in this section over here. So we've got cucumbers and some kinds of squash, and then behind those you can see peas coming up. And you can see the birds are already starting to peck at some of them. So what we're gonna do is drop the insect netting down like we did on that one, just to cover these things, because if we don't take care of them, the birds are just gonna take them over. In a garden like this, there's things you won't even expect pests. Sometimes you don't, the first thing you think of a pest is you don't think a bee's gonna be a pest. And you don't think probably a bird is going to be a pest, but when it comes down to it, when you got food this good in a food forest, when it's a paradise for everyone, you got to really protect your harvest or something's going to come and grab it. That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you got something out of it. How can me and Tuck be upset about the bees destroying some of our grapes when we got all these still right behind us? More of the Concord grapes, looking beautiful, just such a blessing to have this kind of food in your backyard. And it's so fantastic to have a different perennial for every season, a different annual. It always kind of gives you a different flavor. And what we're doing is just dropping this insect netting over top of it, and that seems to be protecting them a lot because you can see that color on those grapes. Like, look at these ones down here. Those are ready to be picked. Stay away, boy. We make sure Tuck stays away from the grapes. He doesn't end up going for them when he's got so many delicious options out there, right, boy? I think he had enough snacks for now, man. This guy, he can get a little greedy when it comes to snacks, but that's because he worked for all of them and he earned them, so it's good to be king, right, boy? Me and Tuck hope that you guys enjoyed the video. We wanted to send a thank you to one of our new channel members, Stephanie Ivy. Thanks for being a part of Team Grow. Thanks for having your hand in everything we're doing out here. We also wanted to mention to check out the merch down at jamesprigioni.com. Grab a Gardening is Life shirt or a Grow shirt, be part of the team, or you can even join now. Just scroll down next to the subscribe button, hit the join now button, be part of Team Grow, or you can simply just start a garden in your backyard, on your patio, and start growing some of your own food. That makes you part of Team Grow as well. And one other thing, if you want to be growing some delicious food like we do, the annuals look beautiful, stacked with fruit, the perennials too, get some of the fertilizer down at jamesprigioni.com. It's mine and Tuck, it's our secret stuff, and it's got the actual paw stamp of approval from the boss. Right, boy? It's pretty good stuff, right? We had a lot of fun out here. I know he did. There's nothing makes me happier than looking in the comment section and seeing all the spammed hearts for Tuck. This guy is like been with us since before we started the garden. The first plant we put in the ground, this guy was by my side and he's never left my side since. So it just makes me feel so good that you guys appreciate him like almost as much as I do. We'll be back again with another one real soon. The little king, well, the young king, Tuck and James, we'll be back again real soon. We out.